Well, I'm back. Not that I've left, but I got the video editing and I'm back on the lathe, and I decided, it's still daylight out there. Well, almost. And, I decided, I got all these small pieces and, that's really not a fair test to what the capability of the VFD really is. People that have the VFDs, so variable speed drives, they put large pieces of wood on their lathes and their lathes handle it really fine. Well, I decided, it's an old log. I got an old piece of oak. Bark is not going to stay on it, it's going to fly all over the place, but it's odd shaped, and I want to do an end grain bowl. This is the real test to what this lathe can do the way it is set up right now with the VFD. Let's get started, let's see what we get, and if this works, this will be a true test. But I'm running at about 300 RPMs. So that's where I have the lathe set right now. 300 RPMs. I'm set on a spur drive and in between centers. So I'm going to test and see how much wobble I got based on that. And if it's too much, I'll lower it down. And I must say, that's not bad. Now this is end grain. So another toy that I bought, and I gotta be more adamant on using it, is I bought the Bionic Shield, and it fits comfortable on my face, so I'm gonna be putting it on for this particular turning. But what I'm trying to do is basically flatten this up and then go inside and start hollowing it out. I'm going to need to attach this somehow either to a faceplate. Worm screw is not going to hold up on this wood. This wood is too far spalted, so it's funky, and it's not going to hold up on me. So the options I would have would be making a tenon on this side, which is probably a good solution. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the front face somewhat parallel over here. I could have done this on the saw to save me a little bit of the beating up of the lathe, but I also wanted to give this a fair test with the way I turn. I turn things very unbalanced and just off the wall. It's like whatever comes into my hands, I put it on the lathe, and sometimes they're not in perfect, the perfect scenario. So let me get started on this and see what I can get. Now, one way to do this would have been to also go with some sort of a parting tool, but this is so big that I'm not even going to be able to do that. So the only option I really have is the one that I'm using right now. Gotta find which gouge is going to work the best for me. And that one is a little rough. So I'm going to try my old favorite. Okay, but actually this piece of oak, I believe, is going to have a little bit of burl going through this area right here. I'm almost flat as far as what I need to cut off. To lighten up this weight a little bit, I'm going to true up this outside a little bit and change my tool rest and come from the outside, see if that will go. and lighten up this load slightly. Well, it's going pretty well. I mean, I wish I had the bark on this, really do. But I think that it's going rather well considering. Well, this will definitely be an interesting bolt. There's no question about it. I'm going to go a little bit higher on this, catching it here, and all of this is going to be really, really nice looking, even without the bark. Bark would have really been a bonus on this, but you know, we can't always get everything. We gotta work with what we have in hand, and this is what I got in hand. Well, I'm back. Started this yesterday and it was kind of late in the day, so I went inside. But I'm telling you, if I can pull this one off and I don't lose it for any reason, even though I got funky wood and all kinds of stuff going on this will be a pretty interesting bowl. I'm looking at what's going on over here, and I'm not sure if I want to go a little bit higher. I really do want to maintain this void that goes through here on a return. Let me bring it to the opposite side. There's quite a bit going on in here, and I really do want to try to maintain as much of this as possible. So by coming up a little bit higher, I'll start cutting into this area right here, and then by the time I take this inside, I'm not so sure that it's going to work. I might leave it like this and see what starts establishing up on the top edge of it, and then go in here and lightly refine it. I might just want to do a slight curl over this way to meet up with it, and I will check on that once I pass up this point, and once I start gouging this up and see exactly what I'm going to leave out of this piece right here. This is the feature piece out of this whole log. Not so much this. This is a little lower than what I want it to be, but it's part of its character, so it will work as well. So back on here and get started. It's taking a little bit of a beating on what I'm doing, and trying to see exactly which is my best tool to handle this task. Right now I'm going to try this shop-made cold steel chisel, sharpened up a little bit like a combination scraper bowl gouge. And this can take a little bit of a pounding without me fearing the strength of the tool. So let me try this. I got a nice center point over there for the live center again. I'm really taking a long time getting this to cut, and I know there's a better way. I'm gonna go from inside out, as long as I don't get too thin over here where it's gonna wobble on me towards the end. So I'm gonna use a Forstner bit or my long drill bit and go in there and bore that out. Now, I should be able to fit my bowl gouge in there or another tool and start hollowing this up from inside out. Well, this is definitely going to be fun to clean out, no doubt about that. I hope I don't lose this piece right here, which has this void going through it, which is something I saw before, but I did not think that it was be going all that deep. So, gonna keep working at it and go lightly when I get on this area right here, all the way on this wing. Still gotta go a little further here, and the rest doesn't look too bad. I like this concave that's going in here. This will still take it down quite a bit unless I completely alter the outside, and that would be the bottom, which is flows right off. So that's not going to happen. So I'm actually going to end up going fairly deep on this bowl. At this point, going to use my drill bit again and go a little deeper in there. That should be giving me somewhat decent cuts. Not great cuts, but decent. And I mean, I got a ton of tear outs on this. So if I can get this to be somewhat in this state, which is with a push cut, it won't be too bad. And of course I still have, well, I've passed up this corner, so this might be the deciding factor of how much am I going to take from inside or the outside for that matter. And because I don't want to go too deep on this area right here, I want it to show off, but I don't want to go down quite as deep as it shows up on the outside. So the rest of this on this area right here will be taken out from the outside. The thinning of the bowl will all be done from the outside. This will be the shape of the bowl on the inside pretty much at the top. Just cleaning it up. I'm putting some CA on this bark because I actually want to keep parts of this. Well, this is going to give me a lot of sanding to do if I'm going to save this this bowl. I am trying to do a cut going in this way, but I'm not having much success. Let me do one final cut and see what I get with it. Well, that might be a little bit better, but still, the only way to get rid of something that's as funky as this, all these pits that are going through here, the fibers just pull off. You know, you're cutting, but still, you know, the loose stuff just pulls itself off, and you don't have much hope to get anything super clean. I found in the past that the best way for me to be able to get a clean cut on this is to take sanding sealer and apply a coat of sanding sealer to it, a generous coat. So I'm going to try that and see how that works. Very generous, because the wood is so dry and so porous that it will draw in quite a bit of it. This piece balanced. This piece, right from the beginning, it has been very wobbly on my lathe, and that's the drawback, or the missing component that I still don't have on my lathe to be able to mount heavier pieces or off-balance pieces. It's the vibration. Yeah, I could slow it way down and eliminate the vibration, but then I can't get a clean cut when you're going that slow. So, you know, you sacrifice the clean cut for the stability when you got a lightweight lathe like this. I'm gonna let that dry since I put it so heavy for about 10 minutes, and I'll be back. Well, I'm back, and this has been here for a little while. So I'm gonna give it a shot and see if I can clean up these cuts inside a little bit and see how it goes. not much of an improvement on this edge right here. Doesn't look too bad down here, but this edge, I'm gonna have to sand that down. I don't want to come over here because this flex on this now, and this could possibly snap off, and this doesn't look too bad, so I'll leave the rest of this as for sanding. Well, that's not too bad. Quite a bit of tear out right here. And I'm afraid to go with my bowl gouge in here, downhill, and but I'm going to attempt with my old one. Well, I'm trying a new formula here, and it's with shellac, boiled, denatured alcohol, and Danish oil. Basically substituting the Danish oil for the boiled linseed oil from Captain Eddie's formula, but only going half of the amount on the Danish oil. So 1 part of shellac, 1 part of denatured alcohol, and half a part of Danish oil on this. I want to see what it does. Figured the Danish oil is a little bit richer in color than the boiled linseed oil, so it would enhance the piece slightly. And everything else is pretty much the same, and I want to see if the luster that I get out of it is the same. damned. Just the speed of the lathe busted it up. But it goes to show you, it doesn't matter who you are or how much experience you have had. Things can happen on the lathe. And this one, I would say that I was lucky because of where I was standing. Not because I was prepared, but the fact that I was trying to get that super speed, which is not even a super speed. That was only bringing it up to, I believe, around 1200 RPMs. And 1200 RPMs on a bowl of that size could blow up, even without you touching it, even without any tools approach. Just the speed and the off balance and vibration is enough to blow it up. So that's a lesson that you can take to the bank. If the piece is big, don't spin it that fast. But anyway, that break scared me a bit.